They must have the slowest horses ever pulling this bleeding wagon, mustn't they? She ain't going to go past here at 2:30. If that is, shortly the horses will bump into her on the way down to the post. Yeah, no, I'm just here to look at you. I only want tasty women here. I don't want you ugly men. All you ugly men, get out of the way.
Hello, and a big warm welcome. Yes, it's the final of our 3 podcasts previewing Royal Ascot, and we hope you have found some winners this week, and maybe we have put you on some pearls of wisdom ourselves now and again. We haven't been in peak form, but we've had our moments this week, and we're hoping to take you into Saturday, finish off the week in style. Well, guest tonight, one of our leading contributors, Jack Veach joins us, and welcome, Jack. You're just back, fresh off the winner of the Sandringham just now. Chris Pull.
Good evening, Lee. Evening, John.
Yeah, evening, John. Yes, as always, my main partner.
Hello, everyone.
John's in good form today. He's enjoyed the procession and the carriages. He took it all in and thought, despite him being a Republican, it wasn't all bad today, John, was it?
Yes.
Well.
Yeah, non-stop parade of Workshire sycophants crawling up the house's ass. Yes.
John, I never knew that they had lunch somewhere before they got in the carriages. I never knew that.
I don't know if you were aware, the other side of them big gates at the top, there's a whacking great castle.
Yeah.
Which held sausage fingers on now. And I am led to believe they have a dining room. I think that's where they partake in the pork pies and the pickles.
Right, Rafe and Ralph were in the other day. Will they go for lunch with them, or do they just get dropped off?
I think it depends. I would imagine Rafe and Ralph probably got an invite because they trained for him.
Yeah.
If you train for him, you generally get in.
Yeah. But for example, Bamfords were there today. They'd have gone for lunch, wouldn't they?
Oh, they'll have had lunch, them greedy bastards. Yeah. They want to get started out with the fucking taxman, them and lunch at the fucking Windsor Castle.
Is it 500 million or something?
Something like that that's in dispute.
There we go. One rule
KFC
for us.
lunch.
Yeah, don't wrong with KFC. We love KFC here. You can't beat it. Well, a big bucket, John. Could you demolish a big bucket?
Not a Middlesbrough one, probably a Carlisle one.
Oh, yeah, Carlisle chicken's good up there.
Middlesbrough's fucking desperate.
Near Racecourse, yeah.
We have a chicken with 3 legs at Middlesbrough.
That's because you're a bit of a port town, John. I reckon you'll be getting like cheap stuff.
I think it's genetically produced, you know. They're running around using their heads half at time. And
yeah,
this isn't where I thought we'd start, but I'm enjoying it.
Anyway, we'll move on. I thought we'd have some fun. It's the last show anyway.
Yeah.
Right, so 2:30 race. We'll come on to the races now, and we'll give our best bets at the end of the show. Sorry we forgot to do that the other day. I had a bit of gin. And because I'm on the off and on days, I feel it now a bit more. My tolerance level's going down. So sorry about that. I did forget to ask. So I'll make sure we'll get our best bets at the end of the show. Right, the Chesham. Bedtime Story heads the market. Very impressive winner at Leopardstown. From, well, surprise really, because they expected the other runner to do the business, particularly on homework, etc. But nevertheless, this felt very straightforward and quickened up in very good style to put the race to bed. And Aidan O'Brien has done well in this race. Many winners of this. I think 6 or 7 or something stupid. And if you look at his record with fillies, when he runs a filly in here, that should take note. He won it with Maybe in September in 2011 and 2017. Ballydoyle was second in 2015. Pearls of Rubies was runner-up last year in this. So, has Bedtime Story got the makings, John and Jack, of another winner in this race for the Master of Ballydoyle?
Yeah, I'd have thought. I mean, certainly the right favourite. You know, we were all on the other filly at Leopardstown, weren't we, that day? Who equally ran a good race on a. I don't think the track suited that. Giselle the second. So this one did very well to beat that. And I think if you'd asked me yesterday, I wouldn't have been overly confident because I thought Aidan's juveniles have been sort of running a bit poorly at this meeting. But then that filly obviously pissed up in the Albany today and would have won a lot further with a clearer run. So I think it's the right favourite. I'm not in a huge rush to take her on. Again, like a lot of the races this week, there's about 5 I could back in here. I like George Bowie's horse, Pental Bay. I think that won really nicely at Leicester. Interestingly, it looks to have been purchased or part purchased by C Mayer, which is Kieran Maher, isn't it? The Aussie trainer.
Yeah, and Team Valley, Team Valley as well.
Yes.
Bought it off Babington and Ware. That sounds like a record label company, doesn't it? Babington and Ware.
Yeah, or like some Ponzi members club or something somewhere. No, I like this one. I think stepping up to 7 will certainly suit, being sort of by New Bay out of a Galileo mare. I'd like to see that run well, but yeah, I'm not in a huge rush to take on the Fab, I guess is my conclusion.
So, John, today we saw the female version potentially of City of Troy. I thought I was watching Miesk the way that won today.
She was a proper rocket, wasn't she, from 1.5 out?
Yeah.
Savage.
Yeah. The one thing though, and I'll point about this race, is that I wonder, and also what I know watching the Sandringham just before we started recording, is the stands rail going to come into play heavily now tomorrow, like it usually does on the Saturday?
I would think so. I think standside will be the place to be. Whether that's enough to stop Bedtime Story, I don't know, because I think she's coming into this with a shade of form above anything else, to be honest. I think you'd be hard pressed to find anything much within £10 over coming in.
Yeah, well, I think Ryan.
Well,
I think Ryan will track across. Like, did you hear him today when he said, "I wanted to be like stand side"? So
yeah.
I'm sure he will, because as well there's a kilt one in this that's drawn out. I think it's for the Midland Park lot. Yeah, Lazy Grip. I think that's pretty certain to boat on. And I think if one's going to capitalise on it, there's one I like very much on debut away called Miss El Fundy, of the Bullfacing Barons. Drawn 17 of 18. I think if you don't mind, hang on to your knickers kind of ride, because she didn't start quickly at Kempton. She's certain to get a hold-up ride. If Luke Morris can pick his way through, I think this has a bit of ability, this one. I can see her in the shake-up, but I think it's a bit of an ass to beat the Fab.
Age of Gold was green on debut, missed the kick, and obviously came through and won late. Quite what that level of form is actually worth is certainly open to question at the moment. Secondly, I thought he wasn't very big. He was sort of dwarfed by a few in the field. I was kind of, to say there was money for him, I didn't like his sort of, at this moment in time, his physical presence. I know it's cows and rabbits arguments, John, but I don't know. Something just said about Godolphins to me. And I thought Pentle Bay would have to step up a lot on that Leicester win from a form level. However, when you consider how bad the draw was at Leicester, trap 13, got messed about at the start, got Spencered for a bit, and then Spencer finally got him on the right part of the track, and he came home and flew him and got up close up. I would say Pentle Bay can be marked up a hell of a lot for that, a hell of a lot.
I think anything that can win at Leicester with Spencer on, probably quite good.
Well, yeah. And of course, Tom Marquand, who won the coronation today, is in the plate. So all plus points for Pentle Bay. If you're fancying an each way angle in that, that's where I'd be looking. But agree with Jack and John regarding Bedtime Story in the fact that she is the best. She gets the fillies allowance. She might be a little bit tough to beat, but some of you don't like short prices. So that's where we're at. We've mentioned a couple out the box as well. We move on to the 305, which is the Hardwicke, which sees the last year's St. Ledger winner continuous as market leader and also a very creditable fifth in the Arc de Triomphe last back end. This is top class level form. Do we take the 13 to 8 or do we say, wait and see? Jack?
I don't think I'd be in a rush to take that price, probably given the fact this is seasonal reappearance. I know they've had this in mind for a while, but you'd have probably liked to have seen him out by this point. I think it'd be interesting up against Middle-earth, and I know he beat Middle-earth in the Ledger, but Middle-earth is a real quick ground horse, needs quick ground, otherwise he's useless. And I was really impressed with that run at Newbury. I thought he's actually much better value for the winning distance that he had. Obviously only went up the nose, but made a really nice move towards the end of the race. And I think this is a 4-year-old going places this year. I know he's also been bought by the Aussie outfit, and I think the Melbourne Cup or some of the Cup races down there on the agenda. But I just think, whilst I've no doubt Continuous is the better of the two horses, I think this could be a day where you can catch him out. So I'd favour Middle-earth at the prices. One I wanted to chuck in, just as a bit of a silly one at the prices, is Elegant Man. This is a very lightly raced colt by Arrogate, so really going to appreciate the quick ground. He's never had that so far. I mean, he's mainly been kept to the all-weather. Obviously, a bit of a dirt pedigree, but I thought ran okay last time out in the Tats Gold Cup. But I think the ground would have bbeen too slow for him on that occasion. Really impressive performance at Newcastle when he defied a big weight to win that valuable handicap there on all-weather finals day. Yeah, I just see him getting the right conditions today. As long as he can stay the 12 furlongs. I mean, he was second to Rebel's Romance, getting a bit of weight off him, but second over 12 there at Kempton. He's not 50 to 1 shot in my eyes was the point.
I think you make a pretty cogent case for a big prize runner, particularly with his pedigree. Now,
yeah,
I've touched on this a few times. Ascot and Doncaster are the two turf tracks that any all-weather horse, if you ever back an all-weather runner and you're worried about it acting on the turf, if they're running on quick ground at Doncaster or Ascot, it wouldn't be a worry. I think because of the relay, for example, in the straight with the sand-based surface underneath, I do think it just plays. Check yourself. All-weather sires do extremely well on quick ground at Ascot and Doncaster. So the fact he's by Harrogate, let's send it to Yeehaw land, really. So, like you said, 50s, he's absolutely huge, and that's a really good spot, Jack, at a price. We love prices. Coming to some of the others, John, Jack makes the point about, is this Continuous's target? I find it interesting that Continuous has got some 10 furlong entries, don't you?
It's not surprised me because I felt last year this horse was still open to a fair degree of improvement, and I get the impression they might be quite hopeful about what this horse can do this year. I do feel that a mile and a half on quick ground is just his back. I also feel that the earlier targets that used to be fashionable for this type of horse, now you tend to think, well, there's a big autumn programme sort of seeping into lots of North American races, there's a Japan Cup, things like that. There's really no need to get them going until roundabout now. This has always been his target. He hasn't had a problem. I think he'll knock these into the middle of next week, to be honest.
Well, I take Jack's point about Middle Earth, like improving. And I do think he's got a point. I think this horse will keep going forwards. I do like the fella. But like you say, Continuous brings another level. It's one of them. If you knew the lads were betting this to some kind of degree and strongly, I think there's only one winner, isn't there?
There is for me.
I agree. I think, interestingly, I'd say this is a King George prep and may well be good enough to win this on the way there. But that'd be a race I'd love to see him in, and it might be worth taking the bit of tens for that around. I might have a few quid on that if I can.
Oh, they have put him in it. Yes, I've just seen now King George.
I'd imagine that's where they're going. I mean, he won't go to the Eclipse with City of Troy, and yeah, like John said, this is his trip.
I don't know the fuck we got Middle Earth up to 115 after that last run.
Whilst I agree, he did incredibly well to win. He can't have run £7 above his mark.
What sort of a PB would Maxi King have run then in fourth?
Well, that's it. I mean, you've got the Semhan that led off a crawl in third, was obviously tailed off against Israel earlier this week. So
there's a hero miles back because every Agus horse that ran that day went home in a fucking ambulance.
Tell me what just to break this race up for some funnies. Tell me what you said to me today about Bruff Scott. What he looked like.
I said he looked like he wanted to go back in his crypt.
You have such a way with words. So Desert Hero, after that last flop, will it be flopping again for Sausage Fingers, John?
I'll show her it flops every night when he says the old grass naked.
Bring back Fridays, they'll say. No more of this. Isla Jura, John, your favourite. Is this too much for it?
Oh, I don't care what happens to Isla Jura now.
John's won 6 million off it now. Yeah, from last. Right, we'll move on then. So Continuous. I'd love to see some strong market support for the lads on that race. To be fair, though, there has been some weakish O'Brien runners. I mean, even though Opera Singer was really weak today, she still ran extremely well. Nothing wrong with her run. I mean, just got outpointed by one that probably had a little bit more foot close home and certainly surprised us in terms of her stamina, Porta Fortuna. So I don't think there's anything wrong with her run. So maybe drifters aren't a thing with the yard. just is what it is. I mean, the lads aren't going to be betting with Ben Keith, are they? They're going to be probably getting on somewhere else for their amounts, I'd imagine. 3:45, we move on. It is the Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Stakes. Millstream for Jack's favourite yard. Heads the betting, and no doubt he'll be cheering Team Jane on, even if he's backing something else. He'll be satisfied if Team Jane win this. So, yeah, bearing in mind what we've said about the draw and potentially might need a little bit higher. What are we saying in this race? I mean, that might not play out, but it's just potential thoughts. So, Jack, where are you on this?
Oh, well, I'm already lost on the race because I backed Shirts Montesi anti-post and thought I had a lovely chance there. But as always, he had it jocked up all week and then didn't declare, so that was good news. So I'm already disliking this race, but it's poor, isn't it? This has got to be one of the poorest renewals of this I've seen in several years, really. Very reflective of where we're at with the kind of sprint game at the moment. I agree with you on rather obviously preferring to be high. But then you've got kind of like Quinault's drawn it out in 9. He'll provide a decent pace, won't he? Millstream should go forward. So I think it's going to suit a closer, and it's a step up in class for him. But I was really taken by the Wizard of Eye last time out when he won the Victoria Cup here. And I think a stiff 6 is going to be his bare minimum, and it might actually be too minimum for him. But if they go a decent lick here, I think he'll certainly be one that will be running on at the finish. And he's got to improve, probably £7 or £8, but no reason to say he can't. And there's no world beaters in here, so he'd be the selection for me. But it wouldn't be a race that I'm eagerly keen to get stuck into.
John.
If I had a bet, which I'm not, I'd bet Cadem. That's why I'm not. Because I draw, hold up ride, and it likes quick round. These are shit.
Yeah.
He was the great benefactor of the wagon form last year, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, if the wagons take the course that they took tomorrow,
yeah,
it's going to be nicely compacted, isn't it? And, I mean, he's not out on the figures, is he, either? I mean, he's joint the highest rated horse coming into the race. We know his trainers are in Nonga. It doesn't matter, He's drawn 12 or Shane up.
I'm quite strong here. I've got a fair level of confidence behind what I'm saying, which is not often. You've got 5-1 favourite Millstream. There's been money for Mick Barhy, who, by the way, at the Curragh. This horse, I know you say about Charlie Hills. Jesus, he's got this horse ticking a lot better than Vegetable, former trainer. I mean, how it won at the Curragh is incredible because he got badly hampered about filling out and still just come through and just sluiced up. So I wouldn't be the stall. The stall puts me off in 1. So Frank's going to have to do some engineering with this. He really is. I think from there, and the price sort of puts me off a bit. But don't be surprised if that still ends up winning and thinking bloody hell, because I think they've got that in savage form, whatever they're doing. Judged on the Curragh. I agree with John about Cardham. You can't play this race, and if Cardham wins, lose, because this is the type of horse that just comes up out of nowhere and fucks everyone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did it last year. That's what I'm saying.
Last year.
It makes everyone sick to the back teeth. So the fact is, like John says, you cannot leave that out at 20s plus, because it's the kind of horse in a shit race as well. A lot shitter than normal. Kinross, I'd be normally massively against 6 furlongs on fast ground. It's just a no. But he's a class act. I mean, this standard of race, I can't even say no to him, but I can because of the conditions. However, one horse seems to have been badly overlooked, and I have no idea. It's the Sprint Kings, Kevin Ryan and Tom Eves, who literally are Sprint Kings at the moment. Tom Eves, Abbeys, you name it, wins on anything that's fast. Well, this beat Millstream at Newmarket. Yes, I know it was front end. I know it sort of, had the run of the race, if you like. However, when it got beat half a length by Millstream last time at York in the Duke of York, the 1895 Duke of York, by the way, not the current nonce, right? It was drawn in trap 12. You look on that stand side, they all came like far side, even hung to that side to challenge them. I think Washington Heights can be marked up massively for that. It was just on the wrong part.
I just think you want a bit more finessing, and switching off a bit.
Possibly.
He travels like a class act.
He's a very, very good horse. I mean, look at his battles with Quinault last year. There's no reason why this horse can't go from strength to strength this year, given how weak the sprinting division is. How on earth that is 14-1? I have no idea. When we're talking cigarette papers between that and Millstream, it's fives.
Yeah.
Kevin Ryan was 56. He could have run in this, hadn't he?
Art Power don't run this track that great, does he, John?
Not on this sort of ground, I wouldn't have thought.
No.
He likes to make a print.
Just going through a few, like Quinault obviously has had battles with Washington, but I think he's at his ceiling now, and he's not going forwards, if you like, and gets the side Sahel reject Richard Kingscourt in the second. So come up, which we'll come on to. Price wise, I think that's a shocking omission. 14-1 should be much shorter. I would be half that, 7 or 8. So that's the overnighter for anyone that's playing, and that's where I'd be at. So that sort of covers off a very substandard Jubilee. Onto the Jersey, over 7 furlongs. River Tiber heads the market. I think surprisingly, if I'm honest, at 7-4, but might have needed it a little bit on reappearance at the Curragh in the Irish Guineas, but was firmly put in his place by Hartum that day, who was race fit. So we are possibly dealing with fitness angles, as we know Coolmore are certainly not averse to a spin, even in a classic, for alternate targets. John, I'll come to you first this time. You love a Jersey winner. Since Zilzal, you always love a Jersey winner. So what's going to win this?
Well, I was surprised at dropping Hartum back to 7 furlongs, to be honest, because the word was, after the Craven, that the mile was the making of him.
Yeah. Which
just shows that Hannon's probably got the attention span of a fucking goldfish. Really. Everything was about the mile. The mile's done him good. This is it. He's a miler. I know, let's go to Ascot and run him over 7. Yeah, let's Richard, yeah, come on. The trouble is, the opposition's a bit thin on the ground. Normally, you'd like someone with a bit low profile coming into this. But I do think there's one there that's rather interesting, and it's the uniform Carl Burkyard with Knight Raider, who found it all a bit much at Newmarket because he'd had 2 spins round Southall that's pancake flat, and then suddenly he's hitting bloody ridges and stuff and racing at 6 furlong tempo.
Yeah.
When he's just been having a bit of a giggle around the gaps. And I think that'll woke him up quite a bit. And despite the draw, I think this is a sort of travelly horse that Tudor will be able to do what he wants with, because he'll always have plenty of horse in his hands. It'll be all about switching and moving and changing position and that. It won't, it won't be having to impart a lot of forward momentum early on. I think, given the form Carl Burke's in, given the strength and depth of his team as well, I think this is a very, very reasonable bet at like 14 plus.
Certainly had the potential of the first 2 starts. And I think all of us thought like the Guineas was a step too far, didn't we? And, well, a fast. But didn't a few of us think that Knight Raider and Guineas were just a bit of a no? Like
I said at the time to McCarver Jr., I was all over it. I said, this is much more a Jersey Stakes horse.
So there you go. It's all about working the target out. Yeah. Big prices. Jack, have you anything to add here?
Like we say, I think stand side generally is where you want to be tomorrow. But I thought, interestingly, most of the pace was low here. Knight Raider, who John mentioned, will certainly go forward. Take Me to Church, the Irish horse, that's just the one way of going, and that's forward. Sun, the Hannon horse, equally likes to go forward. So it might not be as much of a disadvantage if that sort of far side pack get a bit of a lead on the near side lot. I agree with John on Hartum. He'd be racing at 10 furlongs if he were mine, not 7, that's for sure. I think the MO with this Wathnan outfit clearly is just to try and, put them in as weak races as possible to get winners on the board. But I just think it's going to happen a bit quick for him, really, over the 7. So I'd be against him. I like one at a bit of a price. It's kind of a theme for me, really, this week, to be honest, and certainly tomorrow. It's an O'Brien horse ridden by John's favourite jockey, Dylan Brown McMoran.
Dilbert.
Yes, exactly. And it's pearls and rubies. Now, you've just got to hope that she just absolutely needed that reappearance run in the Irish Guineas. Never went a step there and was kind of used as a bit of a pacemaker, I think. Was very keen on that occasion. But she's got some good form here. Obviously, she was a very narrow second over course and distance in the Chesham last year. And if you go and watch back the Cheveley Park run, where she was a very good second to the today's coronation winner, Porta Fortuna. And Pat Dobbs, as Pat Dobbs often does, had her terribly positioned in that race. She was held up last. If she was put in the race a bit sooner, I think she'd have won that. And on that basis, that was only 9 months ago in a Group 1. And you're now getting 66 to 1 for a jersey. So I'll be having a few quid on her, and hopefully Dilbert won't let me down.
Huge.
He's let everybody else down all season.
He has, yeah, but I mean, he's got to win one day, hasn't he? So
you might get carted sometimes.
He's a bit keen.
What does the panel think to the Baron train, Saeed Sailder, Never So Brave, King's Coach clearly being jettisoned here for Safi? What do we make of this?
I feel for him, really.
I did hear a rumour, and this is not substantiated by any means whatsoever, that King's Court has said now.
Really?
Oh, no, it's Stout. Right, okay.
No to
Sahale.
Oh,
Makes
right.
sense. I mean, he was treated terribly in that Desert Crown saga, wasn't he?
He treated me terribly when I put the rumour out and I said it's done, right? I'd got a laughy face when apparently, like, somebody told Nick, look, it weren't done and this, that and the other. And then he come on gloating like the gloaters do. You know, like in the old days when you're chucking, like, rotten fruit at them in stocks and the gloaters walk past and, what a cunt. That's what he did to me. He put all laughy faces on my post. So King's Court, karma, fuck you.
Yeah.
That's where we all end up. Yes. Yeah, on the scrap heap. I have seriously no betting opinion on this to add to what's been said. River Tiber doesn't appeal to me at 74 at all. Does it anybody else?
He hasn't appealed to me as a horse since the Coventry, to be honest.
No, I don't know what he is. And in fact, some of O'Brien's lot don't know what he is.
He's getting on my nerves and he keeps turning up, to be honest.
Yeah.
You want him to
He's like one of these fuckers, you know, if you have a pet, you like tell a few people, you think, oh, this will be a good night, you know. and then there's this one fucker that nobody wants to turn up, and he's there, isn't he? He's like second one around, and you think, oh, man, fuck's sake, it's him. You know,
yeah.
That's River Tiber.
Brilliantly described by John. Right, we move on to the Wokingham, and again, it could be the hydro theme. Now, I definitely need you two's help here because it's not my sort of race. This is where we need to wheel Davies on for 2 minutes to do his ditty, really, and then we can all just leave him alone. I've absolutely no clue here. I might play some hydro forecast, maybe later in the day if that's how it's looking, see where we're at, or maybe look on the Whirlpool. Hope the Japs are getting stuck into something else, Jack. What's the tactics here, Jack? Give me help.
I think listener Davis is certainly rule number one, and back high draws is the second. I like you tend to just have a bit of a dick about in this race, really, and put some tri-casts and that together with the high draws, and I certainly think that'll be where you want to be tomorrow. No firm opinion really as to a selection. A couple that I thought was sort of interesting. Wodow or Woodo, I don't know how you say that, but it's now with everyone's favourite trainer Jamie Osborne having left the Fetus and is here on first run. An interesting place to kick your season off, I think, and off a mark of 100, he's got quite a lot of back class. He's got pattern form in the book, listed winner at 2, ran reasonably well here in the Windsor Castle as a 2-year-old and listed place last year as well. So off a mark of 100, he's somewhat interesting. I mean, I don't know what sort of condition he's going to be in, and is that a trainer? Well, it's certainly not a trainer upgrade, is it? But he can do all right with some of these O'Brien cast-off types. He's had a few in his time. So that was one that interested me. And then, like John was saying about bored of seeing River Tiber, I'm just a bit bored of seeing Al-Bashir and fucking Juan the Pan, and it's just, you know, one beats one the other day and then the other one beats them the next. It's just the same old crop of shit, isn't it? Yeah.
We should make John watch some staying group races from last sort of 5 years in UK Like, make him keep watching them from Sagara right through to end at calendar and say, John, you've got to do that. Like, on loop, could he do it? You know, like, and it's Trushan from Coltrane. Coltrane's in front. Trushan's battling back. Holly's done it again on Trushan.
I've been blowing my brains out.
And it's brilliant. John, where can you direct us? Jack's trying to break the world record for the massive prize to accumulator on his podcast Fancy. And if he does it, even the Chinese will be going, Jack. You know?
We'll send free spring rolls for life.
Yeah, they'll smash the world pool in, won't they, if they listed? John, where are you at with the Wokingham?
Well, there's obviously a plot here, isn't there? Harry 3. Clive's boat Ryan. This thing's had a spin up after a season off. And you just can't say why you back that to 17 to 2, can you? So he's plotted up and joused up and ready to rock, isn't it?
Yeah.
The one I like is a horse I think will thrive on the quicker ground, and that is Torre Vega of Sheila Lavery. There's a bit of joust gone out the price. It was originally 50 to 1. This horse has been sneaking around in small fields quite a bit, and it doesn't seem to suit it. But when he gets a big field, he performs a lot better, I think. I think it's the tempo of a race that suits, and I think quicker ground will bring about more improvement. So I'd be quite hopeful of him at round about 20 to 1.
Is he bigger than that? Is that all he is? 20s?
Well, yeah, 20s on the sports book.
50s Entane lot on my screen. I don't know if it's up to date. But...
Well, that's what I thought. I thought he were bigger than that. That's an interesting selection.
But beware the plot, I would say.
Like you say, after 630 days off, it's Clive Cox Racing.
It looks sick, this, doesn't it, really? Yeah.
Clive Cox Racing, Whitesbury Manor Stud. Why keep a gelding in training for that amount, or basically decide, we're going to keep on pursuing it. Yeah, well,
haven't you, really?
Yeah, and Brian Moore, of course, in the saddle. Sorry, I'm of no help to anyone on that race. It's just not my cup of tea at all. 540 is the Golden Gate handicap, and everyone saw Hand of God. Robin Peter Shilton back in 1986.
You by a midget.
Yeah, do you know what? I felt sorry for Pete until he became all gamble aware, and
he was a cunt then, though, when he was a goalie for Forest. He was knocking somebody's misses off.
Yeah, Tina. We shouted it on the way terraces at baseball grounds. Tina, where's your Tina gone? Where's your Tina gone?
He's got freakishly long arms as well. He's like a fucking baboon.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I've met him. Massive hands and all. Massive hands. It's like kind of weird. He ain't the tallest. I'd say he's like 5'11", just under 6 foot, I reckon. Massive hands.
The arms make up for it, don't
they? Shit tape, John.
He can chuck his own shit for miles with the arms like that. Believe me.
Right. So, Hand of God, one up the dead rail at Sandown. I mean, the form to say it's this price. I mean, yes, we all saw it and thought, that's well handicapped. But he's beat Blue Lemons, who is
shit, isn't it?
It's just a very, very average form in the end. So I'm not so sure. Old Faithful, I'm not so keen on. Approval, we're all cheering on for our good friend Casey. Tony, what's his surname, John?
Connell.
Yeah, Tony
Connell.
He's got a share in that. We're not cheering Harry Herbert on. He's a cunt. So we're not bothered about him.
You can't let him have 2 winners at the Royal meeting. God bloody hell. It'd be horrible.
Well, I was stupid enough to try and make our like they did at Windsor.
They might do. That's what I mean. They're all thick. It's like, show a bit of teeth. Oh, yeah. Lovely lunch. Go forward. Yes, go
Been
forward.
up to the castle with sausage fingers.
He'll be in the carriage tomorrow, John, I bet.
Oh, Christ, look at this. Sausage fingers, he's got a runner as well. Tony might be in carriage coming down track.
This will be it, yeah. So Approval that won last time, obviously up in the weights. Primo Lara, edge bet last time, won nicely from Trees up to 91 for Big Jane. Portsmouth, I think this is a different level of race. When it was second last time, probably a bit unlucky, really, where you hailed as well, which is terrible. So, Jack, I'm coming to you for more inspiration. I need it.
It's not quite the 66s and 50s of prior, but I do like one in here, and it's Andrew Balding trained Dam Buster.
Yeah.
Just looks particularly plotty, doesn't it? Handicap debut, turn up in the Golden Gates off 90. Won a lower level contest at Beverley, but absolutely pissed up.
Yeah.
Much better value than the 3/4 length suggests.
Went down a bomb with the punters last time, didn't it? Yeah.
you wait for that. Oh, God. Very good.
Right, anyway.
Very good.
Yeah.
He's a half brother to Uncle Bryn, who is a smart miler now down in Australia. I just think it's been nicely campaigned, and they'll have had this in mind ages, I'm sure. So what we're looking at, 14s, 16s, that'll do for me, I think.
Yeah, it's fair enough. It's unexposed. Like you said, there could be a lot more to come. It's a no betting race again. I'm sorry to listeners back home, but if I can't put my cash down, Cockeyed Pete at 33s for Ralph Beckett with Peter Crouch on. And that might be one for long stocking backers. John, coming to you.
I think it's quite depressing that they've left O'Shane in the dressing room and stuck Probert on this tomorrow, but there you go.
Yeah, well, he's on that Palace Green, and I think that's part owned by Qatar, so that'll be why, unfortunately.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah. A special relationship, Auntie, with Qatar.
Very special.
We'll send them more on that. But anyway, so John, what are you?
I like this. Yeah.
Dam Buster.
I thought the Beverley run was really impressive. Balding was prepared to spunk Maynard Rashid's handicap mark earlier in the week, running a decent race, and then he's one rated a pound higher, and he's sticking with handicaps. He's quite a pucker, isn't he? I think 6.1's decent value. I think the favourite's wobbly, to be honest.
Yeah, I do with the form. I did like the reappearance, and I'm thinking, yes, this is an horse going forwards, but then the form's just held down a little bit, I think, to be that sort of price. Okay, we move on to the Queen Alexandra. The highlight of the meeting for some, only chance to back a winner for some as well. We backed the winner of this, John, last year.
Aye.
Dawn Rising.
Goes out shit, didn't it?
Back for more.
I'm not so certain this time around. But we'll run for Oscar unlucky last year. They've booked Maxime Guillon.
Good one, isn't it?
Yeah, I want to see Charles Burns talking to Maxime Guillon.
Fly on the wall in that conversation. Neither of them can speak fucking English, can they? Definitely not Burns.
Yeah, let's go down the street and have a floor top.
That was very good, actually.
Pardon, monsieur. Oh dear. And then what you've got next door is Brian Ellison on Touchdown going, "Well, hey man, hey.
Good old trash can.
Yeah, some good language departments there needed. Translations if true.
League of Nations, isn't it?
Can we have a sweepstake? What time does Trushan get non-runnered?
That's a disgrace. I hate that awesome partnership. Everyone's bored of it.
Or has he just given up with it? He doesn't give a fuck now. He just run it anyway, will he? Henstone.
It's only since last year. Connections are hilarious, right? So they've avoided fast ground all the life. And they've said, oh, no. They ran it pre the Cadran last year. Of course, like how French do it is they chuck about 7,000 cans of water on like 4 days before. Then it's 27 degrees every day before race. And then by post time, it's probably good ground or whatever. This was like 1 second slower than standard when it went Cadran. And I can remember all at the races and all wanker crowd were getting out of soft ground. Oh, it's soft ground, it'll suit Trushan. And I laid it because I thought, no, you're talking out your arse. This is quick. So I reckon Connections ain't got a fucking clue what it wants. I think that's what it is. It's like, how can you just say, I can't go on that ground. Don't go on this ground. Where's your evidence is key? I don't think they've ever ran it on it.
You just had a look at it and said, every top horse, King's a fucking jumps trainer, isn't he?
Yeah. I'm counting up now. He's non-runnered it for unsuitable ground 8 times. How fucking boring is that?
That's just not.
Yeah, it'll not declared a few times and stuff like that as well.
They just need to go to Van Baden and run there all year.
Van Bottomless.
Right, coming on to the Alex then, finally. I've not much opinion. I am told that Run for Oscar is the one to be with. But that's all from my right-hand man that knows a lot more than I do on the Irish runners. So I've got nothing to add here for listeners other than that. So Run for Oscar is the one maybe each way, 11 or 2 each way, Snidey each way. John, come to you, any of you?
Yeah, Uxmal, unexposed at the trip. World-beating combination, Joseph Patrick O'Brien and Dylan Brown Monagoigle.
He's having a tough time as the baby, hasn't
he? He has. This might just see him back on the map.
Yeah. So you're going with the out-of-form trainer and the jockey you cannot abide.
Exactly, yeah.
Winning combo.
Method in my madness there, isn't there? You know, I can have a bloody good chunter after the race.
Yeah.
One of them will have fucked it up, won't they?
Yeah.
Baby Joseph's knackered training regime, or McMonagall's got lost halfway around. It's not a lot to find on ratings, this, and I think it's a little. It certainly is unexposed at this sort of trip.
Yeah. Well, trash can can't win on ground, can it? Can't win on this rattling quick ground.
No.
So that's out of it.
You'd have to trash can.
Yeah, that's no good. You're Uxmal. I'm Run for Oscar. Jack, where are you going?
Probably to the pub, I think.
That's not a bad choice. That is not a bad choice.
No, I don't like these. I'm like Nick Davis 2-year-olds with these. I'm not a big fan. That Queenstown's interesting though, mainly for the fact it's a Coolmore-owned gelding. Don't get many of them, do you? Must have been a right cunt if they're gelding it. They don't geld anything unless it's got, I don't know, might have Australia, it might be a positive, might have kind of Australia in mind or something. But for the pure fact that I know it's not a fully wound up Kyprios, but he's been running Kyprios within a length and a half on 2 occasions. He's got to be a half decent horse to be doing that, really. Brian Moore was jocked up on Dawn Rising earlier in the week, but clearly Aidan said no and made him jump on this. And yeah, it'd be interesting. But I take your Irish man's view ahead of mine, really. If that Run for Oscar's actually trying tomorrow, I'm sure it's got every chance.
Yeah, if he stays, Queenstown will be very interesting.
Yeah, it's a staying question mark for sure.
There's plenty you can do tomorrow while this is being run, really. You can nip round the back of the grandstand, finger blast McMonagall's sister, go to the champagne tent, have a glass of fizz, come back and watch the finish, and then go down and collect.
John's vision there for the Queen, Alexandra. We're coming on to best bets time. Of course, I got told off for missing it off the billies last time for missing it out. So best bets on the day. Jack, I'm coming to you first.
I think Dan Buster and the Golden Gates. That'll probably be my biggest bet of tomorrow. Probably back that winning place, I'd say, on the machine, just in case something else is equally as unexposed. Theme of my stuff's kind of big prices, so I'll probably just be trying to flick a few things in a multi and trying to cop a few quid in place markets and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that Pearls, what do I call it? Pearls and Rubies, interesting one in the Jersey, and the one I like in the Hardwicke Crypto. That's not Crypto Force, Elegant Man. That's another one.
Yeah, and you only need like one of them places to cop, really, and you're going to be ahead on the day, I would think. So, like you say, a decent strategy for Saturday, hopefully for Jack. John?
Well, I was going to say Dan Buster.
You can do. Claxon.
Well, yeah. You can Claxon Dan Buster, but I'd also throw in Continuous because I don't think he's really solid in the air.
As long as the vibes, I usually get the O'Brien card, as long as the vibes are solid come tomorrow, then I'll be with you on Continuous, I think, to smash that out of the ballpark. For my best bet, it's got to be, like I said, the Queen Elizabeth, where I would be of a 3-point stake. It's a half point on Mitbahi. It's 2 points on Washington Heights at 14s, and half a point on Cardham.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that gives me the race by the bollocks, and that's where that's my strongest play of the day. That's where my 3 points is. Very strong opinion on that. Hope you've really enjoyed that, like we have this week. We've had some fun. Me, Nick Davis, Andy Richmond, John Lang, Jack Veach. We've enjoyed doing these, and we're still going to do lots of festivals going forwards. I know Fridays are now finished, but still, you'll get plenty of us on Barsters, on Patreon. As you know, it's only £9 a month, and you get plenty. So please support us, and we'll support you, and carry on all the laughter and all the good bets, hopefully. Myself, John, and Chris will be back on Sunday with a guest, hopefully, as well, for this Sunday show. That's all from us. Bye for now.